Communities in Madagali local government area of Adamawa State are celebrating the defeat of the Boko Haram and the return of peace to their towns. This is the first time the residents will be coming together after the liberation of Madagali, the last stronghold of the Boko Haram sect. Series of events have been lined up for the celebrations in Gulak town, the administrative headquarters of Madagali local government area.
The people of Madagali local government area in Adamawa State may not appreciate the peace they now enjoy today had they not witnessed years of reign of terror by the Boko Haram sect. Having returned to their ancestral land, they roll out the drums as various groups put up different cultural performances intended to foster peace and unity among the returnees.
With this development, our people will begin to forget the past, the recent past. So we are of a view that further strengthening of this occasion will foster unity, will also bring the attention of the international community, the Nigerian people, to focus on Madagali, to develop Madagali, and to help Madagali.
Local authorities say the people are not worried by the recent attempted attack in Madagali by Boko Haram element, which was successfully repelled by the military and members of the vigilante group.
The issue of security, the issue of insurgents, even in developed countries, are not just located in a day. It's something that will take a long time, but we believe they cannot occupy our territory as before again.
Mr. Emmanuel Samdu of the State's House of Assembly laments the destruction of infrastructure in the area and urged the people to unite and work for the rapid rebuilding of their communities.
We are calling on not only the government, on NGOs and individuals. A lot has been damaged in this society. Some of us, about 4,560 houses were destroyed by Boko Haram. Most of our schools have been damaged. Even the boreholes. We had 169 boreholes which has been damaged by Boko Haram.
Although there are fears among residents because of the closeness of Madagali local government to Sambisa forest, they remain optimistic that this peace will be a lasting one.
The federal government has backed a statement made by the central bank governor, Godwin Emefiele, that Nigeria is gradually moving out of recession. The Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, who was represented by the Managing Director of the News Agency of Nigeria, Mr. Bayo Ononuga, made the assertion at a convention of the Nigerian Guild of Editors in Lagos.
The media hold it a duty to adequately educate Nigerians on the recession phenomenon, explain to them how the nation's economy slid into recession, what this government is doing to alleviate the sufferings associated with recession, how the government is trying to get the nation out of recession, and so on. Can we honestly say that Nigerian media has kept the people adequately informed on the recession that we are going through? The answer definitely triggered a long debate for and against. What is still controversial is that most Nigerians have barely understood what a recession is. And that is no thanks to the media. Instead of defining and contextualizing recession, the media have engaged more in blame game and finger pointing.
Recession is not a crime. It's just a notice to say that you have to rearrange the way you do your public expenditure. That's what President Obama did. Yes, there was a bust in 2008, 2009, but he was very bold enough to put public money into General Motors and even the airlines. And that's what it is that is missing in this country. You need to increase the capital expenditure to help companies, to help other people, and even help government to get the whole system out of recession. And that's the only template that works. One of the major responsibilities, your role in this pursuit of resilience, therefore, is to lend the needed support in bringing our global efforts to public consciousness. With a vital partnership, we are hopeful that all the governments can borrow a bit from the Lagos model and translate same in their respective domains to promote good governance to the greater benefit of humanity.
The British government has denied allegations that it conspired with others to ensure the defeat of former President Dr. Goodluck Jonathan in the 2015 general elections. A statement issued by the Press and Public Affairs Officer of the British High Commission in Nigeria, Mr. Joe Boko, says that President Muhammadu Buhari won the elections with the backing of majority of Nigerians. Britain insists that the only role it played in the election was the engagement with Nigerians and their leaders before the process to make sure it was non-violent, free and fair. The former president, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, had in a book against the run of play written by the chairman of the editorial board of this state newspaper, Mr. Segun Adeniyi, alleged that the former British Prime Minister, David Cameron, connived with the former United States President, Barack Obama, amongst other world leaders, to push him out of office. Former President Dr. Goodluck Jonathan has been reacting to the contents in that book against the run of play. He says it contains many distorted claims on the 2015 presidential elections by many of the respondents. The former president says that at the right time, the main characters in the elections, including himself, will come out with a true account of what transpired either in major interviews or books. Mr. Adeniyi had said that the idea for the book sunk in when he decided to research into why it was so difficult for incumbent presidents to lose elections in Africa. 24 billion naira, that's what Nigeria would have saved by maintenance dredging of the Ajaokuta-Onitsha channel on the River Niger. And this is according to the Minister of Transport, Mr. Chibike Amechi, during a ceremony at the Julius Berger Jetty in Ajaokuta, Kogi State.
It's a full house with the Minister of Transport, Rotimi Amechi, the chief host, Governor Yahya Bello, traditional rulers, eminent personalities from the Ajaokuta community, as well as the management and staff of the National Inland Waterways, all in attendance. The minister makes it clear that he is happy that the dredger, which was acquired some years ago, has been put to good use. Mr. Amechi hopes that the Onitsha River Port will be fully concessioned before the end of the year.
Don't forget, when you're drawing up next year's budget, to include two items in the budget. First item is to buy a bigger dredger. That way you are sure of regular maintenance dredging. If not, this river may close. And this river is extremely important in terms of economic activities in the north. This is a major river, River Niger. And we need to keep it alive. We need to ensure that we bring it back to life. Anything the federal government needs to do to achieve that, the federal government must know that it is essentially responsible for people to have access to water, no matter what you do.
The minister's host, Governor Yahya Bello, is also enthusiastic. He assures the people of Kogi State that the dredging will reduce the menace of flooding, while also asking the minister to link Lokoja to Abuja by rail.
It is indeed intended to keep the waterways between the two locations navigable all the year round, thus improving transport and trade. Additionally, it will reduce the menace of flooding in our communities by clearing the waterbeds of obstruction. All of this falls within our own aspiration.
The managing director of the National Inland Waterways, Boss Mustafa, on his part, explains that out of 36 states in Nigeria, 28 states can be accessed through waterways.
The current exercise is a value-focused project aimed at providing sustainable navigable channels on routes with proven economic activities. The estimated removal of 523,000 metric tons of dredge materials will create deeper channels suitable for current movement of ceramic tiles and granite from Ajaokuta to Onitsha, and the bossment in Okwela through the Agenebode jetty to the eastern markets via the Onitsha River Port, which is going to be very apt, and it's already up for concession.
Maintenance dredging is the periodic removal of shoals or sediments from existing navigational channels, berths, as well as swinging moorings in order to maintain an appropriate safe depth of water for navigation, construction, or operational purposes.
There are two main sources of public water supply in the south of Nigeria: surface and groundwater from wells and boreholes. In this special report, our correspondent looks at the effect of harvesting groundwater in large scale as a replacement for the public water system.
The Ikoba River Dam in Benin City, the Edo State capital, commissioned in 1987, was meant to be a primary surface water source for drinking water. However, it's not functioned for decades. During the years the dam was functional, the State Urban Water Board managed the supply of water to buildings within the city. Success is a 26-year-old man who lives in Benin City. He depends on this borehole for his water needs.
I've never fetched water from tap. It's only boil that I used to fetch water.
A much older Mesha recalls that the public tap ran last in 2002 in his area.
Akome State, that is 98. There's water. Well, it's 2 hours every day.
Many residents of Benin City depend on groundwater accessed through boreholes. This is not peculiar to Edo alone, but to most southern states. Experts are also concerned about how the increasing dependence on boreholes affects the environment.
Surface water is generally regarded as much safer than groundwater. Why? Because pollutants percolate into the soil and then they pollute groundwater. And then by the time you receive it, especially the way we indiscriminately sink borehole everywhere, the quality of water that come out of those boreholes, we don't know, we don't even bother to test. It's risky. There's also the concern about the stability of the interplate area of the earth, that in the future we may not end up having earthquakes related problems with this instability in the crust due to this indiscriminate sinking of borehole and all that, because when there's over extraction, there's also that risk.
The Edo State governor shares some of these concerns and says his administration is looking at intervening in some parts of the state.
We will be looking at different strategies, including the Ikoba River Dam as one of our strategies to distribute water to almost 2 million people who currently reside within the larger metropolis today. Other strategies will be installing industrial boreholes and reticulating water from those areas if we cannot get water from this river to everybody in the city.
Coming up on the news at 10, the Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital, Osun State, is optimistic about its residents to offer open heart surgeries. Join us again.